This will give you the Salat al-Fajr feel. So when I teach in Fajr,
Down here?
huh?
Down here?
No, we teach up there. But I always have to keep my friend on the table.
Oh.
Because Fajr is when all the stupid stuff happens. So anything stupid is normally going to happen in the morning. Like, this is not going to be not saying that it wouldn't happen now. Only Allah controls all that, but is it live now? Alright. Alright. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Alright, so we're on chapter 72. باب الإحسان إلى البر والفاجر. And this means being righteous and doing good to a person who's righteous and to a person who is sinful. Alright, a person who is sinful. Alright. Alright, so we'll go over this. We'll see through the hadith, inshallah. حدثنا الحميدي هو عبد الله بن الزبير قال حدثنا سفيان هو ابن عيينة. We didn't take this hadith yesterday, right? No. Just making sure. قال حدثنا سالم ابن أبي حفصة. Salim ibn Abi Hafsa is a interesting one, right? Because we got to get the questions right. Salim ibn Abi Hafsa is he's like what they call a Shi'iyun Ghalin. Like he's a hardcore Shi'i. But they accept his hadith. Like he will not lie in hadith. Like he won't, when it comes to hadith, what he memorized, he gives it, but he's known, like, as far as his deen and everything else, so he's a Saduq. And this is a statement of Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, where he mentioned Saduqun fil hadith ila annahu shi'iyun ghalin. Ghalin, it means like he goes to extremes, like he's an extreme Shi'i, like a Shia. He's not like just your regular, nickel and dime Shia. He's like your proper. But he's Saduq in his hadith, so he narrates the way that he knows. Also, the Imam Ahmed said the same thing about him. As far as his hadith is Saduq, like it's accepted. So, alright. So, حدثنا Salim ibn Abi Hafsa, which that goes to show you what? When it comes to the knowledge of hadith, it goes to show you that the adl and the justness and the justness that the people of the Sunnah have. Even this man who is completely on a whole different understanding of the deen, but he's known for being a person of memorization of hadith and narrating the hadith the way that it. And he's not the only one. There are other people that fell into this in those days. And also, you got to understand that a lot of the times when they speak about these muhaddithin, like the people of the past, and they say he's a Shi'i, out to Shia, it means what? What was the major issue back in those days? Like now when we talk about the Shia, we're thinking about the Rafidah. Now the Rafidah, of course, they're like, khalas, they're kuffar. They left out the Ithna Ashariyah, the Imamiyah, the ones that believe that, Ali knew the creation of the heavens and the earth when he was in the womb of his mother, and that the Quran is not correct, and then they insult the Sahaba, and they make this false claim against Aisha radiallahu anha. All right, these people, they're out of Islam. But the Shia, when they used to say like ani tashayya, and it means that they looked at like they used to put Ali before Uthman as far as fadl. Now we know as far as the Khilafah, and Uthman, Ali. But as far as fadl, they used to say that Ali was better than Uthman. This is what they used to call, Shi'i or mutashayya fi dhaka zaman, in that time. So when they say like, ghalin fi hada, that he used to really go to extremes in these types of affairs. But it doesn't mean that he's a Rafidi. Alright, it doesn't mean that he insulted the Sahaba. It doesn't mean that he was going around saying that the Quran that we have here has been changed. No, that's kufr. It would not be permissible to narrate a hadith from a person like that ever. Alright, we don't narrate a hadith from kuffar. Alright, but a person who might have fallen into these types of things, saying that Ali is better than Uthman. And I mean, these are different ulama, from the Salaf, fell into this, So this is something that, the person was known for being upright, and especially with his memorization of hadith. So you see Salim ibn Abi Hafsa, even though they said about him, Shi'iyun ghalin, that he was an extreme Shi'i, but they still accept hadith from him. And even Imam Ahmed said Suduq. Suduq, it means that his hadith is accepted. Alright. Now, the next person, and Mundhir al-Thawri, and Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Hanafiya, في قوله تعالى هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان قال هي مسجلة للبر والفاجر قال أبو عبد الله قال أبو عبيد مسجلة مرسلة. Alright, so there's a mistake in the print here. They said musajjala. Musajjala, no, it's musjala. So I don't know, I don't have my pen with me, but it's musjala. Alright, why? Because asjalahu, it means arsalahu. And that's why Bukhari, well, not Bukhari, but Abu Ubaid, he said musjalatun mursalatun. Alright, so he said hal jaza'u al-ihsani ila al-ihsan. He said, is the recompense for a good action anything but what? It's good. When you do good, what? You get good. And good becomes easy for you to do. So the jaza' of al-ihsan is that you also get what? Good. You get ihsan. If you're doing good to the people, they're going to what? They're going to do good to you, And if you're righteous to your parents, then inshallah your children will be righteous to you. Now, you might get one of these crazy, kids, but in general, Allah might test you. But the point is that in general, the majority of what the person, he's going to get what he gives. So if he's given that ihsan, he'll get back ihsan. He's trying to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, trying to do the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to do, and he might fall into sins, but he's really, really trying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for him to continue that worship, to continue the obedience. But if the person is, engulfed in sins, no concern about the obedience of Allah, then what does this person see? He sees that it becomes easier and easier for him to do the sins, and harder for him to do the ihsan, the good actions, the good deeds. Alright, so he said, قَالَ هِيَ مُسْجَلَةٌ لِلْبَرِّ وَالْفَاجِرِ مُسْجَلَةٌ مُرْسَلَةٌ. It means it's sent down to what? To the righteous person and to the non-righteous person, to the immoral person, to the person that falls into all these different types of sins and disobedience. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us ihsan. And whoever does ihsan, he'll get that jaza, whether he's righteous or not. Alright, so قَالَ Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah here is what? Who's Abu Abdullah? Are you serious? من المؤلف؟ نعم. من ألف الكتاب؟ البخاري. واسمه إيش؟ أبو عبد الله محمد بن إسماعيل بن إبراهيم بن المغيرة. Right. Ibn Baradizbah, Al-Jurfi al-Bukhari. Right. Abu Abdullah. So call it Abu Abdullah. Whenever you see call it Abu Abdullah, it's referring to Al-Imam al-Bukhari. So he said, Qala Abu Abdullah, Qala Abu Ubaid, Musjalatun Mursalatun. So he gave the tafsir of Musjala here, bima'na Mursala. Mursala, it means it's sent. It's sent down. Alright. And whenever you say like Asjala Shay, Asjalahu, it means Arasalahu. Alright, Arasalahu, to send it. And the hadith is Hasan. Alright, it is Hasan. So everybody will get what they put out. I mean, even if it's a person who's he's not righteous, but he's trying. Like again, he's trying. So he does. He's fallen into a lot of sins, but he tries. He tries to get in the masjid and tries to pray. He tries to read Quran. He tries to do these different things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him that just reward for that, and He'll give the jaza for his ihsan. He'll give him what? Ihsan. Because he's trying. So. That's another thing that the people should never ever become like hopeless. As long as you keep working at it, you keep trying. Alhamdulillah, you're gonna get it. Allah, if Allah knows what's in your heart. So if you're truly sincere with the correct intentions with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you got nothing to worry about, inshallah. All right. So the next chapter 73. Bab fadli man ya'ulu yatima. Ya'ulu, ala, ya'ulu, what does it mean? No. يعني عال يعول أن يقوم بحاجته من النفقة والإطعام والكساء, and you know, so food and clothing and whatever they need, that you stand up and you give them what they need. You give them what they need. So here it says, Babu Fadli man ya'ulu yatima. Yatima, it means what? It's an orphan. What is an orphan? No, bila ab. All right, his father died before he reached the age of puberty. If his father died after he reached the age of puberty, then he's not orphan. It's not an orphan. He is only an orphan because he lost his father before the age of puberty. And his father obviously is going to be the one who does what? He's the earner, the spender of the family, the supporter. He's the backbone of the family, and he lost that. So now, and that's why ala ya'ulu also means iftaqara. It means to become poor. So when a person's poor, that you stand up and you know ta'ulu, what you give them what they need to get them out of the poverty, so they're not, you know, they have exactly what they need. Their needs are met. So yeah, all right. And this, of course, inshallah, we're going to see this with another word also. So yatim is only for the person who lost his father before reaching the age of puberty. All right.
That's an orphan?
That's an orphan. It doesn't matter if he does not have to lose both of his parents. He just loses his father. That's it. He's an orphan. All right. All right, so Bab Fadli, so this is the virtue for the person who supports the orphan and gives the orphan whatever he needs, you know, because he's lost the main source, his father, right? All right, حدثنا إسماعيل وابن أويس قال حدثني مالك ابن أنس عن ثور ابن زيد عن أبي الغيث عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الساعي على الأرملة والمساكين كالمجاهد في سبيل الله وكالذي يصوم النهار ويقوم الليل. Now, you know, you're going to look at this hadith and say, what is the connection between the chapter heading, right? Because Bukhari, this is from his fiqh, right? You got to really pay attention to it. Where does it mention yatim? Where does it mention the orphan in this hadith? All right, let me translate it so everybody can try to participate in this, you know. So this hadith is narrated by Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "As-sa'i." What is a sa'i? Sa'a, you know, yas'a, it means to what? يتحرك بالشدة, يتحرك بالقصد. You know, it's like you move, but you move with purpose. And that's why if you look in fiqh al-lugha, the Tha'alabi, he mentions the different types of harakat, you know, the different types of movement of people, of animals. It's a very beneficial book. So if you look at the movement of people, he said what? As-sa'yu lil-rijal, wal-mashyu lil-nisa. He said that this word in the Arabic language, which is sa'a, is for the men, and masha is for the women. Now obviously this is not true 100% because we have a hadith where the word masha is used with women. But the point is that the word sa'a is used generally for the men. Specifically because why? A man, when he moves with purpose. All right, he's got something or some objective that he's moving towards. All right, it's not just like, you know, al-mashi, you're just walking. You're just walking. With purpose, no purpose, just walking. And you can see this in the people. I mean, if you look at the type of, the way people walk, the way that people move, you see some people when they move with like what? There's always something that he's moving towards, always some type of objective, some type of purpose. The women, they stroll. They stroll. They like to look at things. They like to be curious. They like, you know, so that's why he said that walking is for women. Al-mashi lil-nisa, was-sa'yu lil-rijal. You know, and you see this throughout the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the people, when even for the people that are going after the dunya, he says, he uses the word what? Sa'a, you know, he uses this verb. So here, as-sa'i, because he's going out with the purpose of what? Of helping these people. He's leaving out with this purpose in mind. So he wouldn't say al-mashi, if he had it, yet, but he would say as-sa'i, because he's going out for what? A purpose. And this is the way every man should move. Every man should move. You know, like you shouldn't be walking lazily in the pathway, you know, just trying to show off for the people, or trying to look cool. No, you should move with purpose. Every single movement of your life should have what? An objective to it, a purpose, a movement. And you should move with that purpose. And, let the women and the kuffar walk that way, because they have no purpose in their life. Well, I'm not saying all women, but you know what I'm saying. The righteous women, they also they move with purpose to get to the masjid or get off the paths. All right, so as-sa'i ala al-aramala. All right, what is an aramala? Aramala is a woman whose husband died. All right, whose husband died. And it comes from the word aramala. The word aramala in the Arabic language actually means for a person, like nafida zaduhu wa iftaqar. Like he lost all the stuff he lost everything he had and he became poor. Because generally this is what happens when a woman loses her husband. All right, she becomes what? Poor. Now she's dependent on other people now. She had her husband who was taking care of her, and then whatever happened, car accident, war, or something, disease, whatever, he died. Now she's on her own. And and this is just the truth about the majority of the people is what? You're on your own. That's it. Allah Allah help you, because nobody's, and this is why the person who does this, who takes care of these individuals, has the reward is mentioned in this hadith. All right, so he said, as-sa'i ala al-aramala. So the one who goes out, with the purpose of what? Assisting these people, of assisting the widow, the woman who doesn't have a husband to take care of her. Wal masakini, and the people who are what? Yeah, they're like heavily impoverished. All right. So the person who helps out the widows and the person who helps out the weak and impoverished people is what? Kal mujahid fi sabilillah. He's like the person who goes out and fights in the path of Allah. Wa kalladhi yasumu nahar wa yaqumu layl. And he's like the person who fasts during the day and he stands up at night. Because his reward, you see, is like it's constant. Constant of helping these people. And the difficulties and the selflessness that it takes to do this type of action, of constantly going out and assisting people that maybe you have no connection to, other than the fact that what? They're Muslim. I mean, maybe the widow is not even a Muslim. Maybe your neighbor is a kafira, her husband died, and she's in difficulties, and you go and you help her out. She's having problems with the electric bill, she's having problems with the rent, because her husband died and she's not getting them, maybe they're waiting for some money to come in and it's not coming in yet, and she needs help, or maybe she needs some food, and you go and you assist her, and even though she's not even a Muslimah, she's a kafirah. But I mean, just imagine the type of reward a person like this, because the majority of people, they're not going to be concerned. With the masakin, they might go and just take a bag of chips or something like that, but we're talking about like literally taking care of them. Seeing people that are real in poverty and difficulties, and just going and just taking care of them. That's huge. That's huge, and the person has that type of reward of being like the person who fights in the path of Allah, and the person that fasts the day and stands the night in prayer. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. It's muttafaqun alayh. All right. So, but the issue is, the chapter said, Bab fadli man ya'ulu yatiman. So where is the yatim here? Huh? Yeah, he's a part of the masakin. All right, part of the masakin. All right. Because he's miskin. He lost his father. He lost his source of the main source of, who was provided for them. I mean, obviously the provisions, they come from Allah, but we're talking about like here, that this was a means of the provision coming to them and they lost it. And it's going to require patience. So yeah, so it falls under the part of the masakin. Yeah. All right. We'll stop here as far as the Adab and Mufrad, inshallah. Let's see. Okay. Huh?
الحديث الثاني يعني كان المفروض.
What's that?
أنا يعني بقرأ حديث يعني متصل فيه.
Tomorrow, inshallah. The resounding Zubair said instead that the earth is flat. I never said the earth was flat. I never said that. I never gave my opinion, so I don't know why y'all keep jumping and giving opinions. I never said that in this class. I never once said in this class the earth is flat. I said, and I will repeat myself. I said, when you look at the evidence, I said that the evidence, and I'm inclined to the evidence of the people that say the earth is flat more than the people that say this is a globe. That's it. That's a big difference. That's an inclination towards something. But that I cannot make that type of statement. That's a huge statement to say the earth is like this. A person who's never been on a ship, who's only, been in a plane from here to here and here. Actually, I haven't gone up in a balloon and traveled the earth in 80 days, so I don't know. That's not my job, but I'm saying that I said, as far as the evidence is concerned, that their evidence is stronger. And I said for the people that whenever you make these types of statements and you choose a side, and you make that decision to choose a side, you choose a side after you read the evidence for both sides. Because if you've only read the evidence for one side and you choose that side without reading the evidence from the other side, well, that's kind of oppressive, ain't it? You understand? So the same thing. This is for the deen, and this is for everything else. Any time that we have an issue where people are debating and there's two sides, there's two sides, and each person has their evidence. Before you go and choose one side, you go and you look at the evidence from both sides, and and if you can't come to a conclusion, and you can't say, well, you know what, you look at the evidence from this side, and you look at the evidence from this side, and you say, you know what, based on the evidence from both sides, I really don't know. And you know what you do at that point? You keep your mouth shut, and you just say, that's it, khalas, I don't know. You don't take a side unless you're sure the evidence for one side. And like I said, this is just evidence based on what? Based on people's observations. This is all empirical study type stuff. So who cares, Akhi? Who cares? Who cares, honestly, if the earth is flat, round, square? Who cares? Like I said, it's not going to change. It doesn't change my life one bit every single day, that I wake up. It doesn't change anything. I still have to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala no matter what the shape of the earth is, right? So that's it. I'm still threatened, I still, have to face the fact that I could, die and go to the hellfire no matter what the earth is. If I believe in flat earth, does that mean I got a free pass to Jannah or something? No, of course not. So what's the benefit? What's the benefit? But don't go around saying that I said stuff. Who said if the earth is flat? Like I'm the one saying this stuff. Yeah, the Salaf, he said, I heard the Salaf would accept hadith from the Khawarij. Yeah, if they were known for being mutqan, like they were known for being strong in their narrations, and they would never accept the narrations from the people that would support their bid'ah. So just the general narration. So like, for example, a Khariji narrates a hadith about salat or narrates a hadith about saum, things like that, but not something that would now he's got a Khariji narrates a hadith about the permissibility of fighting against the Muslim ruler. No, we wouldn't accept that narration from him. Ibn Fulan also said, can we say Ameen to a recitation of Al-Fatiha on the phone? The only time that I know of the Prophet ﷺ saying Ameen with Surah Al-Fatiha is in the Salat. I don't know of him doing that just for any time. So unless you got some evidence for that, I don't know. I just know it for the Salat. I don't know if outside of the Salat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Abdul Malik. You ain't supposed to be in Oakland, Akhi. You're supposed to be in Fresno, suffering in this 109-degree heat with the rest of us. Can you read all of your spouses' messages if you have their phone password? Is it spying or is it allowed? Akhi, or I don't know because it's Noor, right? So Noor, I'm assuming it's a man, but I could be wrong, right? I've seen Noors that are men and Noor, so I don't know. But You shouldn't. I mean, honestly, if you're married, you shouldn't be hiding anything, anyways. And like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you should just be like, here, take my phone, look at it, look at all you want to look at it. I mean, women are not. A woman who doesn't trust a man is not gonna trust a man regardless. That's that. She's not going to trust them no matter what. She's going to think that that you're just putting in Ahmed and Saleh and all these people, but these are really girls, and she'll start calling them all anyways. She doesn't trust you, she doesn't trust you. And the same thing that goes for a man. So, I mean, if you got to sit there and do that for the wife, because whatever, she's doing things that are causing, I don't know what to tell you. All that drama in my life, that's got to go. And Jakarta said, my father died when I was 14. He was not a Muslim. Allah Mustaan. The resoundings of bear, you should have clarified. I don't. Okay, that's going back to something. These are not. The Sheikh is giving a class, and you guys are chatting in the chat. Show some respect and focus. Jazakallah khair, ya Abu Muhammad. Said, Ustad, can I use my iPhone as a sutra when praying? It's not big enough. I mean, the smallest thing that the Prophet ﷺ used was the small spear, and he put it in the ground and used that for the sutra. So a phone is not big enough. I don't know what they're going on about. You see this? And I'm not talking about the books. He said around the world in 80 days and the one with a balloon are different books. I'm just saying I haven't done anything like that. I wasn't referencing any book. I was just referencing the whole, I haven't been around the world, so I don't know. I don't know, man. None of these are really questions, Akhi, so we can just go to Blue Maram. This is all just a bunch of talk. Said, Ibn Fulan, can we delay Sunnah prayers after praying the obligatory prayer? For example, praying Isha. The Prophet ﷺ used to pray the Sunnah prayers in his house. So if you pray Isha in the masjid and you want to pray the Sunnah at your house, you pray when you get home. You pray when you get home. So that's what he used to. He prayed the Sunnah, all the Sunnah. He prayed them in his house. And that's why he said, وَلَا تَجْعَلُوا بَيُوتَكُمْ قُبُورًا. Don't make your houses like graveyards. Pray in your houses. But what are you going to pray in your houses? You're going to pray the Sunnah. All the Sunnah, yeah. Ibn Fulan, y'all keep asking this stuff about watching anime, akhi. It's drawings. It's tasweer. And so I mean, you're doing like you're promoting that. So no, it's not. It's not permissible. And on top of that, I mean, okay, look, cartoons are bad, and the garbage and the type of stuff that they put in cartoons for the children is horrible. But the stuff that they put in the anime, now I never watched it. I never watched anime. But just the clips that I've seen throughout, the years, just like here and there, because all you got to do is just get on the internet, you see things, or you go to somebody's house and they're watching it. Actually, it's horrible. It's all sihr. It's all witchcraft. So why would you expose your family to that? And this is one of the biggest. This is one of the mubiqat. The destructive, like not just the big sins, but the sins that cause a person what? Destruction. And the sihr is up there with shirk billah. So it's like this is no joke. You know, and this is all of these cartoons pushes like witchcraft. Witchcraft. You know, you see like all these like the anime cartoons, they push like witchcraft, right? The Disney cartoons push pedophilia. Why you want to expose your family to this garbage? You know, we watched it. You know, when the Disney started, you know, the Disney cartoons started getting the, you know, the cartoon movies, we watched these girls, man. These girls, they started becoming, like, it got to the point in the 90s where if a girl told me that her favorite movie was Lion King, I'm like, bye. That means that she's a, you know, she's a loosey-goosey, man. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it means she's probably the most promiscuous girl in the school. And because these movies, that's what they promote. They promote just complete immorality. Wow. You know, the cartoons, the Disney, especially Disney, Nickelodeon, and all this type of garbage. We just found this out, man. I did not even know this, man. You know what Nickelodeon stands for? Huh? No. It's made up of 3 Latin words, man. All right, N-I-C, K-E-L-O, Dio. Dio is God. It means what? What is it? What did they say it meant?
I don't care about God.
Like, don't care about God. Nickelodeon, you know, and just put the N on it. So I mean, this is what they're teaching the kids. And look at what happened to all the people that were involved in this stuff.
Yeah, how much people come out and say, you know, these directors and all the
no, I mean, look at the kids that were raised up in these Disney movies and the Disney stuff and the Nickelodeon back in the 80s and the 90s, and look what happened to them. All of them are like ginned up, messed up, going crazy, drugged up. You know, and these are the people who are acting in it. What do you think is going to happen to the people that you allow to watch it? Same thing. Same thing. I don't even know where I'm at. All right, Jakarta said, instead of sitting of al-istiraha, a sunnah to perform it all the time, or when, what do you mean a sitting of al-istiraha? No, it's not about the person being weak. When you come out of the second or the third rak'ah, these are in the, you know, obviously the salawat, there are 4 rak'ahs, you sit before you stand up. That's sunnah. It's in Bukhari. No, al-julus al-istiraha, or, you know, when you come out of sujood, you sit for a second before you stand up. It's not about weakness. This is sunnah. Alright. If one's parents don't like to see him seek knowledge or read books, should he try to hide it from them in order to not do uquq? Hide it from them. But you seeking knowledge is an obligation upon you. It's not necessary that you hide it from them. But, I mean, if it's, you know, you try to keep the peace in the house, you know, do the best that you can. When you're going to visit a grave, you give the people in the graves, you know, when you go into the graveyard, you give them salams. And that's it. I wouldn't even tell you to make dua. Because I would be too afraid. I mean, even if I went to a graveyard, I would not make dua. If I did make dua, I wouldn't like raise my hands and do this type of stuff, because I wouldn't want the people to think that I'm actually like making dua to the person, or, you know what I'm saying? So no, just, you know, because the whole purpose of the visitation of the graves is what? You know, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Kuntu anhaakum an ziyarat al-qubur." He said, I prohibited you, because he made it a prohibition on the people. In the process of them learning Tawheed, he prohibited them from what? From going and visiting the graves, because this was a fitna for the people whenever they had the Salihin and all the people that they would go there, and, you know, and they turn the graves into like a, you know, a place of worship. So he said, "Kuntu anhaakum an ziyarat al-qubur, fazuruha." And then he said, so go and what? Go and visit it. فَإِنَّهَا تُذَكِّرُكُمْ what? Al-Maut or Al-Akhirah. So they because the graves remind you of death. So if you're going to the graves, that's your purpose. It's to go there for the purpose of reminding yourself of what? Of death. Those people in the graves, they don't benefit nothing from you going and visiting them in the graves. It doesn't change anything. You can make dua for them from your home. But you go and you visit the graves to remind yourself of death. So you keep that in mind when you're going there. That's the whole purpose. Especially when it's people that you know. Which, I mean, that's in America. Like overseas, like you see, like in Yemen, Damaj, you wouldn't know where anybody's grave is anyways. Because they're unmarked. All the graves are unmarked. So you wouldn't even know whose grave is who. So you just visiting the graveyard to do what? To just remind yourself. Like, hey, some brothers I know that are buried in this graveyard. Sooner or later it's going to be me. Either buried in this graveyard or buried in another one. So just to remind yourself of death. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that in the hadith in Abi Hurairah. What did he say? He said, "Akthiru dhikra hadim what? Lidhat." And then يعني al-maut. And this hadith is in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. Where the Prophet ﷺ said, "Akthiru," which means to do this a lot. Akthiru dhikra, in the mentioning or the remembering of hadimil al-lidhat, the destroyer of pleasures. Like constantly remember the destroyer of pleasures. And which is what? And then they said yani, which means death. So yeah, I mean, you should always do go to the graveyard, visit the graveyard, but for that purpose. Not that like I said, you can make dua for the people in the salat. You can make dua for the people, on the last hour of Friday in the masjid. You don't need to go to the graveyard. They're not benefiting nothing from you visiting them. Nothing. It doesn't change their status at all. There's like, they know it or they feel it or like, oh wow, my son visited me today or something. No, they're not. I mean, how are they gonna know? They're dead. They're in the grave. You benefit from it, from reminding you of death. That's you. You gotta turn your phone on silent, man, because I hear that all the time when I go back and look through the things. Ibn Fulan said, Ustad, how does one rectify himself from disease of the heart? What's the best remedy and cure for a sick heart, let alone a dead heart? It's just like Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said. He said that you cure something by what? The opposite. So he's talking about sickness. If a sickness is caused in the body by dryness in the body, what do you have to do? You cure the sickness with what? Moisture. All right, if you're dehydrated and the sickness is caused, because if you're constantly dehydrated, what happens? Your kidneys start to suffer, everything starts to suffer. So how do you cure this? You hydrate. You give the body the moisture that it needs. If the body is being plagued because of too much moisture in the body, then what do you have to do? You have to go to the opposite. You have to use herbs that dry up the moisture, not increase it. Because if you use herbs that increase the moisture, it's going to push you towards death when you're going to become sicker. So the heart becomes sick because of what? What causes the heart to become sick? Sins, disobedience to Allah. So what's the cure to it? For it? Go back to the obedience of Allah. That's it. There's no other cure. What do you want? Like a pill that you could take in the morning 3 times a day, every 8 hours, and you do this for 5 days and your heart's cured? No. You go back to the obedience of Allah. That's the only cure. There's nothing else. You can read all the books you want, but all of them are going to tell you the same thing. What? Go back to taqwa. That's taqwa. That's the cure for the heart. That's it. It's nothing else. Can we get surgery to remove crow's feet? I don't even know what crow's feet are. What are crow's feet? You want to remove a crow's feet? So how do we actualize and implement the ayah? Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change that. They changed that with, they changed what was in themselves, and Allah changed their condition. They went away from the truth. And the only way that they can get back in the favor of Allah is by going back to the truth and going back to the correct guidance. But their condition changed because they changed. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَمَّا زَاغُوا what? أَزَاغَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُم. Once they went astray and they deviated from the correct path, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes their hearts to what? Deviate. They did that first. They're the ones that made that first move away from the guidance. That was on them. So once they changed their state of obedience to Allah and doing the things that they were commanded to do and staying away from His prohibitions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed their state. And, so the only way that they can go back to that state that they were in is to revert back to the obedience. And Allah knows best. Said, Ustad, if I understood correctly, you recommend an online university instead of... I'm saying, look, if your parents are making you go to the university, and if you have the online option available to you, then take the online option. Most of these universities, especially in America, man, you barely have to participate in anything and still pass. Because it's mainly just, the exams. You in the university or no? No intentions of doing it?
Like normal college?
We have to ask Hamza when he gets there. He's like one of those university dudes. But I mean, if that option is available, then take it. Because that degree, the degree helps you a lot overseas. You're trying to get a job in a Muslim country, having a degree from America puts you right at the list of, good jobs and residential visa, Unless you want to live like me overseas, I would live illegal. So, just living illegal, but that's not, you can't, that's hard to do with a family. I had to do it for too many years. It's not easy. Imran, you gotta let me know what hadith you're talking about. You said the hadith about sun setting in a muddy spring to be understood literally. What hadith are you talking about? The sun setting. I know that the sun sets ala qarane shaitan. I don't know about what is a muddy spring.
What?
He said that the sun. I don't know. Give me the number of the hadith you showed. Yeah, Tia Romero said, "How do you deal with a narcissistic spouse?" In my advice, I don't deal with them. I don't know. SubhanAllah, how do you deal with a narcissistic person? I don't know. I couldn't help you with that one. Cannot help you with that one. Alright, what age should one stop posting a girl who hasn't reached the age of puberty online? You shouldn't be posting pictures of girls online. Why would you be posting your family online anyways, period? You shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Why would you, even if they're like 2 years old, why would you be posting your pictures of your family online? All these jealous people online, and then you're just like opening up for the whole world to look at, hey, look, here's my children. You got like akala, seriously, you got like anything left of your mind? Who would do that? I don't want my family to be something like, any joker can get online and just stare at them. You want to see my children, you come to the masjid. You ain't posting them on no Instagram and posting them, why would you do that? I don't care if they're like whatever, babies or whatever. That's crazy. The family's not for that. The family's for you. It's not for the whole world to see. And these people, man, like I said, there's a lot of people that are sick and a lot of people that are jealous. You want these jealous people staring at your family, wishing all types of evil on your family? Come on. Protect your family by not posting pictures of them up on the internet. Imagine that you sitting there posting pictures all over the internet that your little child gets the ayn, and that's your fault. You did that. You caused that, What would you do that for? Or there's some even people, they take the pictures and they use them for sihr. You gotta be careful with that stuff, man. So, Ustad, could mental illnesses like anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder be a means of expiation for one's sins? Any musibah for the believer is an expiation for his sins. Just like the Prophet ﷺ said, what's the hadith? Abu Yahya. Huh?
بس ما أدري له.
عجبا لأمر المؤمن إن أمره كله له خير وليس ذلك لأحد إلا للمؤمن إن أصابته السراء شكر فكان خيرا له وإن أصابته ضراء صبر فكان خيرا له. So here the Prophet ﷺ said that, he said, amazing is the affair of the believers. He said, his affairs, everything is good for him. He said, وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ لِأَحَدٍ إِلَّا لِلْمُؤْمِنِ. And this is only for the believer. This is not for anybody else except for the believer. If good befalls him, what does he do? He gets money, he gets all the good. What does he do? He's thankful. He keeps him in the obedience of Allah. Doesn't take him out. He doesn't get like, oh wow, I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna go have fun. No, he takes whatever Allah, all the blessings that Allah has given him, and he uses those blessings in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's thankful. He's grateful. And this is good for him. And he said, when asabatu ad-darra'u, and if difficulties and hardships and afflictions befall him, what? Sabara. He's patient. فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. So whatever happens to him, whether good is befalling him, whether bad is befalling him, all of his affairs are good. And because of his patience, yes, it's an expiation for his sins.
What's expiation?
It means that your sins get wiped out. Said Ustad is one who commits suicide due to the struggles of life in the hellfire for eternity, or will his tawheed and iman save him? Allah knows best. I have not seen a definitive answer on this. So don't do it. That's it. Don't do it. The people that have the opinion that yes, he's a muwahid, and it being that he's on tawheed and he's a muwahid, that he'll be taken out of hellfire eventually and put in the Jannah. But then you look at the evidence and, just don't do it. Don't do it. That's a scary thing. Mustafa is saying, is buying prepaid cards permissible? For example, a $50 card, but there's an activation fee. Inshallah, there's no problem.
What about like when you go and you get gas and you have to pay a fee to use the little card scanner at the pump instead of going in and doing cash?
No, they're charging you as far as the service. I mean, that's what it is, because they're doing the actual service for you, and they're charging you for the service. So that's the fee. The fee is for the service charge itself.
You go paying through the pump instead of going in. Because you're able to pay through the pump instead of going in.
Well, just go in, though.
Yeah.
Why would you pay extra paying at the pump? Most of these gas stations anyways, I never use my card in them. I always pay in cash. I'll go withdraw the cash and give it to them. I don't trust these jokers, man.
Yeah, you see they got all these skimmers on the...
Yeah, they found a whole bunch of them here, Ibn Fulan said, Ustad, did your journey of seeking knowledge in various Muslim countries shape your mindset and outlook on life in a positive? You already asked me this question. I already answered this in how many lessons ago? I think this exact same question. I already answered it. Maybe, 3 or 4 lessons ago. If there's a child with mental incapacity, so they cannot think or talk, then will they always stay like this? If they are still like this as 12 years old, or can Allah give a miracle? How do I know if Allah? Well, Allah does whatever He wants. Allah does whatever He wants. So I thought that in the Prophet's time, people could go and see the wall of Dhul Qarnayn. people have claimed to have gone there, but nobody said where it's at. So, and also those are like, I mean, it's a part of history. And history is like what? What is history? Take my word for it. So, and history is probably one thing that you got to be the most. How can I say? You have to be the most skeptical about it when you're reading it. You got to really take history with a grain of salt. See, the people, the hadith, because this is deen. This is something that's, we need this to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is from the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hafidha hadha shay. He protected it. And from the protection is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed these ulama that really took stringent care with the hadith to make sure that, that they knew who was narrating the hadith, where it was coming from, where they were from. We got books and books and books and books of biographies of all these people, but they did not do the same thing with history and all these other things. So, because again, history is not something that we need to, worship Allah. Whether we know history or not know history is, so really you gotta, when you read these types of things in like Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, Tariq ibn Khaldun, or any of these different books of history, you gotta really just take that stuff with a grain of salt. So they said that they went to, they went and saw the wall of Dhul Qarnayn. How can we affirm that? How can we say that that's true, that narration is authentic? And if he did see it, how do we know that that's really it? Maybe he saw a different wall. We don't know. So those types of things, nah. Said crow's feet are dark circles under your eyes. You don't do operations for stuff like this, akhi. That's all. And just accept it, akhi. You're getting older. Your diet's not good. Fix your diet. I mean, that's that. I mean, there's all this type of like beauty surgery. What is this type of stuff called?
I don't know.
No, it's not permissible to go do that. I mean, you go do a surgery because you have an ailment or something that you need it for, but not changing the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no. Ibn Fulan, you've asked this question before and I answered it before. A statement about Sheikh Mubil that influenced me. I answered this a long time ago, like maybe a month ago. He said, instead, how do you have motivation, determination, consistency, but Tawbah from a sin? Keep reading the Quran and keep reading the Sunnah. Stay in the worship of Allah. See, the only thing, these things are only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can put this in your heart. Nobody else can do this. Alright. Anything else? Shakarati said this hadith, whoever says La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu lahul mulk wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shayin qadir 100 times in the morning. And the main thing is that, it will be shielded from the shaitan until the evening. No, I mean, not necessarily that he said it more, but he does more. But I mean, you don't have to limit yourself to 100 times. You could say it 1,000 times. I mean, it's up to you. If you've already finished saying that in the morning 100 times and you're driving home, you can continue saying it until you get home, just to keep saying it. So you get more and more and more, inshallah. He said, do you secretly enjoy answering these questions? Nah, it's nighttime. And nighttime, I go home and I go right to sleep. But right now, I'm too tired to get up. They want to leave. My son's falling asleep. But I don't feel like getting up. So what I do is I just keep reading questions until in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Along with that. But no, I don't really care too much for questions a lot. Ask my son, what happens when y'all ask too many questions in the house? You keep asking questions, what happens? Not happy, am I? Huh? Because Esed is the one that asks all the questions. Why? Ah! Like, and that's why. Nah, I'm joking. So for any of the people out there, no, I don't beat my kids. So y'all ain't gonna go calling no social services or something. All right. He said, Ustad, are you familiar with Ustad Abdul Ilah Al-Ahmami, Ustad Hassan Somali? And the first guy, I don't know who he is. Second, Hassan Somali was in Damascus when I was there, but then he left. He left with all the British people after the Sheikh died. And he was a part of the group that said the Hizbis have taken over Damascus, and then they all left. So I don't know anything about him other than that. The other guy, I don't know. Now, all I know about him is he's an English teacher in Riyadh. That's all I know. That's all I heard, you know. All right, let's read Bulugh Maram so we can get up out of here. All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قال الإمام الحافظ ابن حجر رحمه الله. All right, we're going to start on, let me see. Hadith 1035. So I guess Hamza's not coming today, huh? Oh no, because he closes at 9.
9:30 or 9 or 9:30.
Yeah, he might. I don't know why I just closed my phone. Alright, so Hadith number 1035 عن جابر, no, not عن جابر. وعن علي رضي الله عنه قال لا يكون المهر أقل من 10 دراهم. أخرجه دارقطني موقوفا وفي سنده مقال. Alright, وفي سنده مقال. So here Ali رضي الله عنه, he said that the mahr should not be less than 10 dirahim. Alright, so 10 dirhams. This should be the limit of the, this, it shouldn't be less than this. Like, this should be the minimum. Alright, for the dirahim. And this is narrated by Daraqutni mawqufan. Mawqufan, it means it's a statement of Ali. It's not a statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَفِي سَنَدِهِ مَقَال. What does he mean by maqal here? It means like there's chitter chatter about the sanad. It means it's da'if. And the hadith is, and this narration is da'if. And it's because it's in the chain of narration is Dawood ibn Yazid al-Awdi. If you're here for the explanation of Kitab al-Tawheed tomorrow, inshallah, you need to remember this guy's name, because this guy's going to come up tomorrow, inshallah, in the explanation of Kitab al-Tawheed for the explanation of the statement of Ibn Mas'ud. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, من أراد أن ينظر إلى وصية محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم التي عليها خاتمه فليقرأ قوله تعالى. And then he read the ayah, قل تعالوا واتلوا ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا بشيء إلى قوله وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوا. So this statement by Ibn Mas'ud, which is, oh, they're here. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. So here, I'll explain it to him because he'll probably be in the class tomorrow. So this statement by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, inshallah, tomorrow.
Dr. Pepper.
MashaAllah. We stopped drinking Dr. Pepper, man, because it's got bromine in it. I found it, like, all this stuff. It's a bromine vegetable something. I don't know, man. I was trying to figure out why every time I drink Dr. Pepper I get sick. And he brings it. Oh, that's okay. Jazakallah khair.
Okay, yeah.
So, but anyway, so there's going to be an issue with that narration from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is authentic, but there's like a difference of opinion about whether or not it's authentic because of this guy. That would have been Yazid, because the person in the chain of narration for that, his name is Dawood al-Awdi. And they didn't specify is it Dawood ibn Abdullah or Dawood ibn Yazid. So this inshallah will come up to tomorrow. Dawood ibn Yazid is da'if. He's da'if. So if he's in the chain of narration, then it's what? Da'if. The other Dawood, then it's authentic. So here in this chain of narration for this statement of Ali radiallahu anhu, Dawood ibn Yazid al-Awdi is in the chain of narration, so it's ضعيف. وكذلك فيه انقطاع. Alright, and there's also cutting in the chain of narration, because the narration from Ali was narrated by Sha'bi. And Sha'bi, he only heard one thing from Ali, one narration from Ali. That's it. And this is not it. So again, so there's inqita' in the chain of narration, and Dawood ibn Yazid al-Awdi is da'if. Where the burgers at? Man, you bring some chicken nuggets or something. Disappointment. All right. So this narration is not authentic. And we know that it's not authentic. Why? Because it goes against the authentic narration. The Prophet ﷺ told the man what? Iltamis walau khataman min hadid. Go and look for anything, even if it's just a metal ring. A metal ring. You think that a metal ring is not going to cost more than 4 dirhams? It's a little metal ring. A dirham silver, you know. So you don't think it's not going to cost more than that? Of course. So even this narration itself, it goes against those authentic narrations. And then when he married the guy, what did he marry? He didn't even marry him with the khatam min hadid. He married him for what? Because washtuka bima ma'aka min al-Quran. Yeah, so he married the man to the woman based on what he had from the Quran. So again, and we talked about this yesterday to show that what? That the Mahr, the dowry can be something hissi or something. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Hissi al-ma'nawi, right? So it can be something that's concrete, physical, money, clothes, gold, something like that, jewelry. Or it can be something that's what? Ma'nawi. Okay? Like this. You know, he teaches our Quran or teaches the Arabic language. Or, you know, maybe he's a student of knowledge and she says, okay, the only thing that I want from the Mahr is just teach me the deen. Teach me what I need to know from the deen. Okay, so this is acceptable. All right. And, you know, so in this case, yeah, so it goes against this narration. So this narration is da'if. All right, 1036. And this is going to be the last one that we read next. Hold on. All right, 1036. When Uqbat ibn Amr, radiyallahu anhu, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خير الصداق أيساره أخرج أبو داود وصححه الحاكم. And this hadith is authentic. He said the best of all mahr, the best of all sadaq is a what? أيساره, which is the easiest. Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. What? Making things easy on the people, right? Not making difficulties on the people. Because if a man really wants to marry a woman, and then the father comes into the picture and is like, no, well, you know, she needs a car, she needs this, she needs this amount of jewelry, she needs 15 chickens and 20 camels, and she needs all this type of stuff. What does it do? It starts to take the man, and the man now, he really wants to get married. So what does he have to do to get all this jewelry and 10 chickens and 20 camels? What does he have to do? And the car? Well, you could work like a horse, but how many years are you going to take to save up all that money? So he's going to end up borrowing that money. He's going to end up going into debt just to get married. This is not bringing ease to the people. He is already starting his marriage life off with what? Debt, like huge debt. For what? Because you didn't want to make it easy on the people? Because you wanted to show off to the people? Like, this is how we get down. You know, we slaughter cows around here when our daughters get married. This is what you want to do, is to show off, and then you put the man in debt and depression and anxiety and all this type of stress. This is how they start the marriage life off. Now imagine she gets pregnant. This is supposed to be a time of happiness, a time of joy. He can't feel joy because now he's already in debt. What if she needs an operation? What if she needs medication? Now that she's got to go to the doctor, and he's already still paying off for the marriage. Yeah, come on, man. So this hadith is authentic. Sunan Abi Dawud, khayr as-sadaqi aysarahu, the easiest. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Make things easy for the people. Don't make things difficult. You make things difficult, you destroy it. You destroy that man's life. You destroy their marriage. Then you destroy the psychology of the kids that got to be raised up in all this stressful environment because you just wanted to show off to the people by making the mahr super high so you can get some 20 camels and 10 chickens and a bunch of gold and a nice car. That's foolish. Foolish. Man, I remember one brother, I don't know if he wanted me to tell this on, I won't mention his name. Well, what did the girl say? She said she wanted to get married. She wanted a Dodge Charger, akhi. I'm like, what are you going to do? Sell drugs and do drive-by shootings, akhi? What type of girl needs a Dodge Charger, akhi? Oh my God, like seriously, what type of girl needs a Dodge Charger? A pink hijab and a Dodge Charger? Are you serious? Man, come on, man, seriously. But hey, people, man. And then don't be surprised when all these marriages end up in divorce and all these problems and stress, and then the man goes and snaps and ends up killing his wife and killing himself. How many times does this happen in America?
Yeah.
It's all this stress. It's the people going into debt and they're not, I'm almost done. All right. He said, what is it? A Dodge Charger. He said a Dodge Charger. Dodge. Dodge Charger is a gangster car in America. This is a drive-by car nowadays. He said also the cost of the wedding. Yeah, I mean all of that stuff, everything. They spend so much money for what? For what? SubhanAllah. But all right, inshallah, that's it. No questions. It doesn't look like it, and we want to get up out of here.
There's one question.
What?
It was about the Yemeni culture. They're asking for gold.
Where's the question then?
Right under, or I think Matic says Nickelodeon means I don't care about God.
I said that, right? What's the question though?
It says a brother the other night was going to ask a question, something about girls in the Yemeni culture asking for gold. Is it okay if he asked the question because it sounded beneficial?
Where is it? Talking about the brother that was here the other night.
It's me.
Oh, you asked the question.
I asked the question, but you wouldn't let me finish. And you're like, no, you just ask anytime. But I think the chat now wants to know what was the question.
What was the question?
Okay, so it's true you cannot buy.
No, you can ask me this anytime, Akhi. Go ahead.
This is a question about method. So, is it true that obviously in Islam you cannot buy gold with money? Correct.
You cannot buy gold with money.
Like gold you cannot trade gold for money, correct?
Why?
Isn't it haram?
How are you gonna buy gold if you don't buy gold with money?
Because I thought only gold can be made, can be like purchased with gold.
No, it's how?
I did hear from ulama, they said that.
No, gold with gold is riba.
Gold with gold.
No, but you can purchase gold with another. If you give gold, like if I give you this amount of gold, you have to give me the same exact amount of gold back. You can't, or I take the gold and I sell the gold and get money, then I give you the money and get the gold from you. But I can't, you can't just exchange like, my gold or my gold is better than your gold, and so you're gonna give me a price for you. That's riba.
So, like if someone has like $500, or like let's say no, $25,000. That's more sounds.
$25,000 for gold.
Dude, let's just say for
what are you preparing for, like doomsday or what?
He has like $25K, and he wants to go to a jewelry store. Can he use that $25K to buy gold?
Yes.
Okay.
He's gonna spend $25,000 on gold.
I'm just saying, because the
Or she better be worth it. You better make sure she's worth it. The funny thing is like the majority of the women that they spend this type of money on got no deen, Akhi. Because he's not even looking for deen. It's not that she's just like, most of these girls are like Maskina, right? Just raised up in the society. The society itself does not concern themselves with deen. But the point is like, dude, you're going to spend that much money, man. Spend that much money on a woman that's got deen. You're going to spend that much money on a woman who's going to be watching music videos, watching Disney movies, and sitting on Instagram all day long, making duck faces.
Cooking videos.
Makeup on. Putting makeup on.
Lip balm.
Yeah.
Using the camel hump on her head to tie her hair.
I think the camel hump is out of style now. There was one point where, let's just come back in style now.
It's like where they put a bun, they tie her hair in a bun, but right on top of their head.
they tie the bun with until it pokes out like this, like the cone heads.
No, the ghetto girls here in Fresno, they do it. The ghetto girls in Fresno, they do it.
Well, they wear hijabs.
No, not hijab. They do the camel.
I'm talking about the girls with the hijabs. They tie up their. It's not their hair. Their hair might be like this long, but they put all this stuff, like they tie it up with so many of those things that makes it, look like she's got all this hair tied up, and she looks like a boy, man. She's like
a little swirly on.
yeah. And she's got this big camel thing on the back of her head. She's supposed to be like, oh, she's got like a lot of hair. I don't know. All right. What's that last question? 'Cause I can't see it. What is the ruling of science in Islam? Can it be studied? Why would you want to waste your time with it? You got the Quran and the Sunnah, which is the Haqq, and you want to waste your time studying theories. Do what you want. I prefer to study the truth. Allah, He knows the creation. Allah told us what we need to know. خلاص. يلا هنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.